hope you have a great lunch, and welcome back to APrIGF 2024, and welcome to our session, Striving for EcoInternet Towards a Resilient Internet. And here, I just want to give you let's welcome our speaker, Mr. Edmon Chung, the CEO of Asia. Thank you. And also Mr. Toshiaki Tateishi-san, sorry for that, Managing Director and Vice Chairman of the Japan Internet Provider Association. Thank you for joining me here. So, to kickstart a little bit, I'm gonna give a very brief introduction about why we're here, why do we have this session here, and also we will have sharing from Edmon and then Toshi-san, and then we will open the floor for further interactive discussion about the topic. So, as we have been knowing that sustainability has been a great trend in the global and also local discussion. But then we actually want to discuss further about internet carbon. So actually, internet has its carbon footprint and making an impact in the Asia Pacific regions. Actually, I want to draw the connections further with the theme of resilience under the bigger frame. So this very critical communications infrastructure must include the aspects of environmental sustainability to make internet itself resilient. This is the reason that we are doing the research on EcoInternet Index, and this session we want to suggest some measures about improving sustainability of the internet sector and the digital infrastructure. And further that, we also want to acknowledge that case study is very important. So beyond just doing some measurement and research on data, etc., the next step, the actions and the case study itself is how we responding to the data and how we want to improve towards a greater, greener and also sustainable internet. That's its resilience. So. With this very quick introduction, I hope that you have a better understanding of why we are here. We want to share this to you as a showcase. Now, I would love to pass the time to Edmon for starting about what is this EcoInternet Index about? So why do we need it for a resilient internet? Edmon, please.
Thank you, Jasmine. And if we can there you go. So first of all, before I talk about the EcoInternet Index itself, just a quick introduction. .Asia ourselves is run the .net Asia top level domain. So instead of .com or whatever, it's www.domain.asia would be something that we do. That's where our income comes in, and we operate as a not-for-profit organization. And all the income that comes in from registrations of .asia domain goes back into supporting internet development work in Asia Pacific. And one of the very proud projects that we have is NetMission.Asia. You probably see NetMission alumni and ambassadors around here at APrIGF. It is the longest standing youth internet governance program, which started in 2009. Another project, which is directly related to what I want to talk about today, is the Agitora project. It's a little tiger project that we started in 2016. 2016, of course, is when the SDGs, the Sustainable Development Goals, were put into operation. So for that next couple of years, what we did was a number of education program, bringing to even younger crowd from primary schools, secondary schools, talking about the internet's impact on the environment, and also, actually from the good as well as the bad. The internet itself, of course, has a carbon footprint, and this comes to the more recent research that we have been doing. right around 2020, that was when the pandemic hit, and also everyone was locked up at home. That was when the internet really, the traffic really grew, and the awareness that there is a carbon footprint and there is an environmental impact of the internet itself came to bear. So we put together with actually in partnership with APrIGF Foundation, we put together a group of advisors to look at the topic of the internet's impact on climate change, on the environment itself, because on one hand, we know that watching video or increased web conferencing, of course, that has an energy footprint and therefore it has a carbon footprint. However, what does that replace, right? And also, just because we can always meet on Zoom, well, it's also valuable to be here, for example, to have a meeting, to be able to meet with everyone face to face. So what we look into developing was a narrative of how should we think about the internet's carbon footprint in relative to the good as well as the bad. And throughout basically between 2020 and 2022, a model was created based on 3 axes and looking at the economical impact and weighing between the digital economy and the digital transformation on one axis, another axis being the energy itself, the renewable energy that powers the internet, and the efficiency. The actual formulas are a little bit complicated, but I will actually let my video explain it to you.
Global carbon emissions bounced back after the pandemic to the highest level ever recorded. And the internet's carbon footprint is part of that growth. How should we think about the eco-friendliness of the network?
The EcoInternet Index looks at 3 dimensions: economy, energy, and efficiency, linking and balancing between the positive aspects of digital transformation along with the negative draw on power consumption.
The economy axis looks into the internet's relative carbon footprint against the displacement of old economy trade by the digital economy.
The energy axis zooms in on the carbon emission factor and renewable energy sources that power the internet.
Finally, the efficiency axis considers connectivity speed against the excess capacity that is supporting the network.
Of the 14 Asia-Pacific jurisdictions studied this year, New Zealand and Japan came out on top. New Zealand had an early start, having built the first hydroelectric power plant in the southern hemisphere, dating way back to 1885.
Japan was one of the largest oil and coal consumers in the world as recently as 2019, but is now Asia's 3rd largest producer of renewable energy. Both countries rely on sound policy intervention. New Zealand had a head start, and Japan turned things around with impressive digital transformation.
Together, we must work in a multi-stakeholder way with our industry and governments to make the internet more eco-friendly.
To learn more, go to EcoInternet.asia. Do more, waste less.
Yeah, so that's what the model is about. And our first full-scale study shows that, as mentioned, New Zealand coming up on top. But the idea of it is not an absolute calculation of carbon footprint. The idea is the eco-friendliness of the network itself. And also the numbers themselves, they are useful for a little bit of comparison, but don't look at it as absolute numbers. It's really a conversation starter, and that's how we look at it. And some of the overarching narrative based on the studies that we've seen is that one of the key aspects really is the renewable energy that is actually feeding the network, right? The other aspect is actually a more carbon conscious user, both in the corporate world, to select the hosting platforms, to select where you actually host your stuff. And it's also important to think about what the digital transformation brings in terms of the...
Japan is number 2 on the EcoInternet.
Sorry, I have it. one more word before we go there, is the other thing that we looked at is also the narrative on, and I remember this very clearly from the early days of WSIS, the first WSIS, where there were delegates that says, hey, wait a minute, we don't even have power. Why are we even talking about internet? But part of our study shows that they actually come hand in hand. Now is the video.
Japan is number 2 on the EcoInternet Index 2023. Not only did Japan turn around its reliance on fossil fuels, it is tackling climate poverty at the same time.
And partnering with nations around Asia to decarbonize with clean and reliable energy, which helps eradicate poverty and drive economic growth.
Experts recognize that improving access to clean energy reduces poverty by increasing education and improving public health. The World Bank says that solar-powered off-grid solutions are crucial to connecting the poorest and hardest to reach.
That means digital inclusion, which brings the education and economic benefits of the internet to even the remotest parts of the world, must be powered by clean energy.
Our friends at .uz are doing exactly that with the IT Village project. Instead of having mountain kids travel to the city, the IT Village brings the internet to the mountains in the Samarkand region of Uzbekistan, teaching school children media literacy and coding, providing youth essential skills to thrive in cyberspace.
What is more exciting is that the IT Village is powered by solar energy. Digital transformation and sustainable energy comes hand in hand. Perhaps that is why Japan is number 1 in digital economy, according to the EII data. To learn more, go to EcoInternet.asia. Do more, waste less.
Yeah, so part of the narrative is also that digital inclusion actually comes with sustainability, and that's an important message that we want to send out based on the findings that we've seen. And just to note, we're also taking this report. In fact, we've been passing the report around, so do take one back home from you. But also, we're bringing this message to other forums as well. Recently, we participated at the Net Mundial Plus 10 and the WSIS Plus 20 forum. Every time we also try to bring this topic and this narrative on one side, the balance between both the good and the bad that the internet will bring, as well as that the digital inclusion and sustainability really comes hand in hand. So that's the EcoInternet Index.
Okay, thank you very much, Edmon, for sharing with us. Like how is EcoInternet Index like, and what is it actually contributing towards a more resilient and also sustainable and also inclusive internet. And actually, this EcoInternet Index, like. For way forward, it's that to have more case study to actually echo with the research itself, to have more to tracking on what could be the follow-up action and maybe the policy intervention or project. So today I'm very honored to have Tochi-san to share about case study from Japan on what kind of sustainability projects in Japan and how does it like. Currently, the current happenings in Japan. So your time now, Hoshi-san.
Okay. Thank you very much. So first of all, thank you for coming, having me here. I'm very appreciated this time to talk about the Japanese situation. But I'm so sorry, I didn't know about that. I heard that the Japan is the number 1 and the another one the number 2. I just know here now. I didn't know that. So my slide, page 1, this is the Japanese government's activity that promotes reducing power consumption. So they have some council for the ecological guideline in the ICT sector. So these activities, I think that it is more than 10 years. But I'm sorry, I don't know how it is useful for the numbers. But maybe almost every month they do something. So this is the Japanese governmental activities. And the second one is, so this is not good for the case for the ecological internet, but I'd like to explain the situation in Japan. So the network of internet topology in Japan is very complicated because of the this line company and subscribers company. You cannot do the ISP in Japan, so very complicated. But so I'm not sure why these things happen. That's a reason, but now it is like this. So in Japan, almost 70 or 80% data exchange is in Tokyo. So even in Okinawa, from Tokyo to Okinawa is 1,600 kilometers, but they exchange their data in Tokyo. So the data is flying for more than 3,000 kilometers. Even in Hokkaido, Hokkaido is the same thing. That they have 800 kilometers, so they are going to Tokyo back to Hokkaido. It takes 1,600 kilometers. It's a very inefficient network in Japan. So, by the way, 2 years ago, I've been to Colombia, Cali. It's a third city in Colombia. It's not so big. The population is less than 3 million people. The area is not so big, but they have a tier 4 data center for the local government and for local use. So as you know, the tier 4, they have double fiber lines and double electric powers, and also other good mobility facility they have in that area. And also, the electricity must come from renewable sources to a certain amount. I can't remember the number, but maybe 30% or 40% should be from the renewable sources. But so, comparing with Japan, we never think about it. But so, ideal network should be like this, I think. So the distributed IX already in Osaka and Kyushu and some other places already have some IX, but most of them exchange the data in Tokyo, as I mentioned. So efficient network should be like this, and structure. This structure should be will reduce the carbon dioxide emissions, I think. So this is should be more located in the rural areas. So now, just the beginning stage, but we are talking about with the Japanese government about these things. Not only for the eco, but so for other things. So then, if this can be allowed, so in Okinawa's smartphone can exchange their data in Okinawa, and also they can do it in Hokkaido area. So they have no more inefficient network they don't use. So from now, I'm talking about animal. This is not very far from the digital world. So as you know, the global climate changes. We have so many suffering from about that. One of the biggest things, I think, the bleaching the corals. So this is Okinawa remote island, Kumejima. Already this summer, as you know, the temperature of the ocean water is coming more than higher 30 degrees. So like these photos, the coral leaves coming white. But as you know, the coral can immigrate carbon dioxide. Probably, I believe that the most efficient way to reduce the carbon dioxide in the world, and also so to protect coral and from other natural resources. So now we are talking about the turtle. So the white turtle, as the Edmon did do so many years, like the ajitora. Tora means in Japanese it's tiger. So the turtle, I think that I never met the child who disliked the turtle or tortoise. So it's a very symbolic animal, maybe for the children. So that's because to raising the awareness of their climate change or other things. And this is in Kumeshima. So now we find them everywhere, every time around the Kume Island. So one is the right side, how big you can find, because the thunder on the top of the turtle. And but so many turtles coming into the beach. So this photo is not Kumeshima but other places, but seagrass is almost died because they eat almost all of them, because then after that, so the small fishes cannot live anymore. Then now the Fishers Union try to raising up the seagrass bed now. And also they can, as you know, the plants can do the photosynthesis, then they make carbon dioxide into the oxide. So it's they have some effect of the reduce the carbon dioxide too. And also in most Okinawa Island, they have sugarcane field, so many places. But as you can see, when the rain comes down from the sky, they push the red soil into the sea. So then the koalas, the animal, so that they will going to die. So I'd like to prevent them. So if we can sugarcane into the rice field, we will be able to prevent the lead clay flowing down into the sea. So like this, the photo left side into a rice field like this, then we can get rice from the field without red soil going out to the sea. So almost like these things happen in Japan Ocean surrounding, especially the Okinawa Island. But fortunately, last week we have a typhoon in Okinawa Island. The ocean is cooling down, so the fishermen said they are revived now. I skipped my slide. So they have some websites and Facebook, and they are talking about how they inform the people who never care about Kume Island. But if we don't have internet, we will have no idea about what happened in that area. But the SNS or any other internet material can get a lot of people to know what happened in the remote island in Japan. So that's it. Thank you so very much.
Thank you very much, Toshi-san, for sharing about your sustainability projects in Japan, and also like many very vivid pictures and also actual example about the fieldwork itself. So since this is the first showcase session, I would like to open the floor. If you have any comments or questions, feel free to come into the front. We have 2 microphones that you could share your opinion or your question. So the floor is open now. Yes, please. Please also address yourself and.
Okay, my name is Jaeyoung Lee. I'm from South Korea. Thank you for your short speech. 2 years ago, I participated in the APrIGF 2022. I heard a similar speech about EcoInternet by Tateishi. I don't know if it's true, but at that time I heard that the Taiwanese government and tech and platform companies agreed to turn security and storage into the cloud. So I heard that if we keep a lot of emails or conduct security on-premise, it emits a lot of carbon. So I wonder if the Japanese government also discussing security and government activities about the cloud with other tech companies. So yeah.
Quickly answer. So this is a series. We that was 2 years ago. That was our first presentation, and actually last year at the IGF, the full study. Because when you heard of it, we did a pilot study on 6 jurisdictions, and last year we launched the full report with 15 jurisdictions, and we hope to continue to report it every year and how things develop. But on the Japan side.
So I don't know about it in detail, but so Japanese government recommend to use the eco equipments. So they have some certification for the equipments, so routers, other devices for the internet. So they certification, and then if they use the equipments, they give eco ICT mark, something like that.
Thank you. Feel free. Yes, please.
Sound check. All right. This is thank you so much for giving me time to speak in front of you, dear panelists. This is Gilbert from Philippines, and I'm an educator from Metro Manila, and I was actually enlightened by your discussion regarding the EcoInternet index, and then at the same time how Japan is the #1 in terms of mitigating the carbon emissions. All right. So my questions are: what are the limitations of measuring the EcoInternet index? And then the second question would be, in case for those who are not open for the technology, like they don't want to use technology because they think the technology is one of the greatest contributor for the waste in general. So how did you convince your people, especially in Japan, on utilizing green technologies that you have right there? That's all. Thank you.
I'll go first. There are lots of limitations. This is a model, so don't look at it as an absolute. Japan is 0.5 points higher than Taiwan. I mean, that's not the idea. The idea right now, it looks at 3 particular axes, right? The economy axis looks at how the digital transformation of the digital economy versus the more carbon-heavy GDP. And then the energy axis looks at the energy grid, basically, that powers the internet in a particular country or jurisdiction. And then the third aspect is efficiency of the network itself. In fact, it touches on a little bit of what Toshi-san mentioned in terms of the efficiency at the internet exchanges. In fact, we do use the internet exchange data as part of the index. So this is just one way of calculating it. We're starting the conversation. I'm sure there are other calculations that maybe Philippines will rank higher, but we don't. But the point is to raise the awareness and then to speak on the 2 key issues. One is that the internet just because the internet itself has carbon footprint, that doesn't mean building out the internet is a problem, because it actually transforms even more carbon-heavy problems. The other part is that when you expand, especially into remote areas, bringing renewable energy, bringing sustainable energy to power the internet is what's policy-wise should be the thing. So those are the narratives that we are trying to promote.
Briefly. So I think that, but you admired, but I think that we need more disruptive change. We need, because we should be more sensitive about this environmental consciousness. So we need more effort, I think. I'm sorry.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Thank you very much. It's approaching to the end, so the wait for it as well. It's we hope to for those who have more questions, feel free to keep in touch with us. And for those who haven't got a report, please come forward to we have some very few remainings. And you can always find us on our website, and also continue to having this discussion, as we will be continuing with our research and potentially expanding our research scope as well. And of course, thank you first for our panelists for sharing the case study and also the research. And last but not least, thank you very much for your active participation, both in person and also online participants. We hope you enjoy the rest of the APrIGF 2024. Thank you.
Photo.
Yes. Please.
Session never happened if we don't have this.
Thank you.